It's recording, and whenever you're ready.
Three, two, one. Welcome in to another edition of the Pro Hockey News Podcast brought to you by our friends at mycustomsportschair.com. Get your favorite face on there. Get your favorite logo. Go to mycustomsportschair.com. PHN15 is the code. Get a discount. Get whatever you want on the chair that you want. And as you get into summer, it's a perfect time to get those chairs for outside and get your logo chair for the summer. We are in the throes of the Stanley Cup. It is being recorded here on June 5th. In the States, that is a Thursday. I believe it's still Wednesday in the party side after game one in Western Canada. I don't think they know what day it is. They probably are still partying on Wednesday. We almost got a multiple overtime game. We were so close to what you want of a Stanley Cup final. And then some German guy had to ruin it. That'll be the first. We'll have another German reference later in the show, but we're heavy on German hockey players today.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Draisaitl scored with a few ticks to go, and just as everybody expected, Edmonton falls behind and comes back in the third period, wins in overtime. Like, is this not the Edmonton story of the playoffs?
It is, except there is this sort of like irresistible force, immovable object situation going on here, where you have Florida, who's just been so dominant on the road with a lead, not able to close against a team that's been coming back from multiple goal deficits all postseason. It's kind of crazy.
What, Richard, I think the most amazing thing is Edmonton won a game where Skinner gave up more than one goal.
Yeah, and he gave up the butter zone there for Florida. More than three, less than five. You're in the zone there. You could win that game. You give up five or more, Florida's going to win. That's how they've won just about every game in the postseason.
Yeah, this series literally is. I think you termed it well, Lonnie. But it's like if Skinner gives up more than one, they're going to lose. Florida's been known to score. As long as they score, they win. But then they got into that middle zone of three's not enough. But they got up on Edmonton. They tend to protect leads, but all Edmonton does is come back in third periods. Like records and previous three rounds, we can't go by trends. Like none of the trends are going to hold true unless one team wins it out in like a sweep, essentially.
Yeah,
I just get I just get the sense that we're going to be in for another long Stanley Cup final series again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for a lot of teams, having the not having home ice advantage is a problem. For Florida, I don't think it is. And they're the champs for a reason. It's their third straight Eastern Conference championship for a reason. Like they know how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of trends, this is actually Florida's first loss in 32 playoff games after leading at either the first or second intermission.
it's
Yep.
Whoa, was that our fun fact before the end of the show? Or is there
No,
more? Oh, okay.
there's more. Don't worry.
Oh, you did prep. Wait, you did some prep work.
I did.
What do you think this is, the second line edition?
No, I prepared less for that one.
Okay.
Hey, me too.
That's a Canadian heavy show anyway. So, yeah, I mean, is this setting up for this lengthy series, or is this going to be one of those where all Edmonton needed was one game to get the confidence and it flips the script from last year?
I have a sinking suspicion this is going to be one of those like sneaky short series. Somehow, I think Edmonton's going to be able to ride this emotional high. They've been coming back all season long. And to be honest, I think Florida's looking a little tired out there, especially giving up that late lead in the first game when game ones are a must win no matter, home or away. So I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those sneaky series. It's going to end in 5 games. Probably not a sweep, but 5 games would be my money.
I'm not going to say I tend to agree with you, but the one reason I could agree with you, if they win game two, the schedule sets up really, really good for a team going up 2-0 because they're getting the extra day between 2 and 3. But it's really weird is they're also getting the extra day with non-travel between 3 and 4. So if you go up 2-0, to me it almost doesn't matter if Florida comes back and wins game 3. The momentum stops with the extra day off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're back to we can put our throat down in game 4, and then boom, you're back home for game 5 to finish. So like by winning game 1, I think it sets up really, really well for a potential short series for Edmonton.
And that's how I have it going right now. I don't know if I have the faith in Skinner to be wholehearted into this, but I mean he showed he can I don't know if I'd call it steal a game, but he was there. He made
He made some.
stops.
He
He
made
was
some.
there.
He made some really big saves on
He
some
did.
really tough chances to keep Edmonton in that game at 3-1 and again at 3-2. Like that was a big time performance. I think the biggest thing for Edmonton is the fact that Draisaitl scored in this Stanley Cup final. And he scored twice, which is 2 more than he got last year.
Yeah.
I think that to me is bigger than Edmonton winning. Is they're getting this arguably second best player on the planet going in this series, which they didn't manage to do last year. That to me matters a ton. And look, I said it when Florida played Toronto. 2-0 with this Florida team doesn't mean anything yet. Granted,
Agreed. Yeah.
Edmonton is a damn sight better than Toronto. Sorry, Nicholas, but
Fair.
But I don't. Again, I'm not counting Florida out until till they're handing McDavid the cup.
I agree. Let's go back to the goalies for a second, because the much maligned Skinner over under his goals against 2.5.
He's
Over.
under, isn't he, this postseason? Are we talking this postseason or career?
Well, this postseason. No, we're
Yeah, I
talking
believe he's under.
Lonny 2.5.
Just under.
Yeah, 2.49.
Yeah.
So not terrible. Shutouts. Who has more, him or Bobrovsky?
Him.
Bobrovsky.
Him.
They both have 3. It was a trick question.
Oh,
The save percentage is the problem. Skinner's at a 904. Anything below 910, not great. But here's the interesting thing. Only 4 goalies in this year's playoffs are going to, well, 3 are definitely going to finish above 910. Bobrovsky's teetering at 912. So we haven't had Thompson at 917, Gustafsson 914, Markstrom 911. No longer with us in the playoff race. We're not getting dominant goalie. When Logan Thompson exits the playoffs with a 917 for Washington, Bobrovsky at 912, Skinner at 904, Ottinger finished at a 905, just for context. Like, we're not seeing dominant goalie play in these playoffs. We're not Conn Smythe and a goalie anytime soon.
No, we're not. And I mean, I think Ottinger's 905 is remarkable given that he went against the 2 best offensive teams in the West.
Yeah. So
And split against them.
So as long as Skinner doesn't suck, I don't think you have to worry about the goalie versus goalie. Like, Bobrovsky may steal a game, but I don't think Skinner has to.
I
think he can, which is why I don't think he has to. I don't think he has that in him.
Fair enough.
for Bobrovsky, I don't see his save percentage going down, if any. If Florida is able to contain Edmonton's shots on net, because they put up almost 50 shots on net last game.
That's a problem.
That is a problem. If they can contain that, then I think Bobrovsky can stay the course. He's going to be fine where he is. I think Skinner is the real wild card in this.
See, I don't think goaltending is going to matter in this. Like, I don't think that's the. My big thing, I don't know. Florida has not seen this team in their run to the play. What they went through in the East is nothing of what the West has been. I mean, 10 100-point teams, we knew going into it the West was going to be a gauntlet. But the depth of Florida hasn't been tested yet this playoffs.
Right. I think the difference in the goaltending is that Bobrovsky probably needs to steal a game. Edmonton can outplay Skinner, a bad Skinner game potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Florida's physicality could be problematic for Edmonton.
I mean, guys, outside Sam Bennett, who's your go-to offensive guy in Florida these playoffs?
Verhaeghe's been pretty on it.
Yeah.
The last 3 years he's been he's been so good in this playoff in this current iteration. I mean, yeah, look, he's popped up in spots. Marchand's popped up in spots, but yeah, they're not getting the consistent offense from like a Kachuk that they really need.
He's got 12 goals in the playoffs, right? Is he leading the team in goals?
Bennett?
No, Kachuk.
No, Bennett's got 12 goals. He's leading.
He's
leading the entire playoff race. Bennett's the only.
Oh, sorry. That I was looking at. Sorry,
Yeah.
the assist column.
Yeah, Bennett's the only one I believe in the top 10 of goals in the entire playoffs. Meanwhile, you've got Draisaitl, McKinnon, McDavid, Perry, Bouchard, all in the top 10 of playoff goals.
The next Florida guy is Barkov.
Barkov, that's right.
Okay.
Barkov has 6 along with Bouchard.
So he's tied with so you have 2 in the top 10,
right,
versus 4. It just the scoring depth of Florida. It's not that they're spreading it out. It is they are top heavy, and they're not getting much in depth.
The top 4 assist guys. Okay, so top 5. 4 of the top 5 assist guys are Oilers also.
Yeah.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, and then Bouchard and Kachuk are tied with 12 each.
Wait, what that's telling you is they're cashing on the power play, which we know they've been doing.
Right.
And they're getting enough time off the ice to matter. Like, I mean, Corey Perry is having a resurgence here in the play. Nobody expected him to be the prowess that he is. You've got McDavid double shifting at home a lot of times to get matchups, and it's working. And they're just, to me, until somebody else steps up from Florida. I mean, Marchand's having it's a great story, but you need more. I mean, I think Reinhart has played below there. I mean, Ekblad has been somewhat invisible in way too many games. Everybody talking about Seth Jones, how much better he is than Chicago, but he's his number. Yeah, you should be because you're playing with a better team, but it's not like he's a shutdown defender back there, and he's not scoring a ton. And then Gustav Forsling looked awful last night. I mean, absolutely terrible.
I mean, Gavrikov, I think, has probably been their best blue liner in this postseason, which is when you get Ekblad and Seth Jones, that's not really what you're going for.
Right.
I mean, they're getting really good play from I'm gonna butcher this. Lusternainen.
Yep.
Lusternainen. He's been really good, but he's got the exact same line that Reinhart does, and he's a +10 to Reinhart's +3.
Mm-hmm.
Not great. By the way, talking about the power play, how many power play points do you think Connor McDavid has in this postseason?
He's got 0, doesn't he? Or
did I think he's got a couple
power
of
play points. Power play points.
Power play points. I think he's got a handful of assists
in this series.
He has literally a handful of assists. The postseason, he's got 5 assists, no goals.
No, he hasn't. Yeah,
in the postseason,
he's been dishing. Yeah, he hasn't scored on the power play.
Well, actually, but here's the thing: Draisaitl, 3 power play goals, 10 power play points. Like, he's outperforming McDavid on the power play in this postseason, which, from a point standpoint, which is crazy. So, as good as their power play is, it's the depth of offense that's carrying Edmonton, where they've leaned on McDavid, say in the past, like only his entire career. They've actually found balance throughout the lineup in this run.
Well, I think what it is that they have more weapons. So when the teams are loading up on McDavid and denying him the puck, it's leaving Draisaitl, Perry, Bouchard, Kane open.
Well, I mean,
Like,
and that was the thing about the game-winning goal. It starts with McDavid absolutely taking the zone at a pace only he can manage.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida got super aggressive. Nugent Hopkins made a great save back to him, and he finds Draisaitl open out front.
Yeah, leaving Draisaitl open there is a bad move.
It's like they didn't watch the series against the Stars at all.
No.
Also, or any film of him at all in the
Yes,
last 10
exactly.
years.
It is that is starting to become his Ovi spot. The amount of times that he find low slot to the right of the goal open, it is amazing how he finds a soft landing spot so often there.
Yeah, goalie's left side, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, even tougher than Ovi's because that's glove side on most goalies.
Yep.
Well, and what's amazing is the ability that his teammates have, because teams are sagging, they're getting puck sucked, they're sagging to the puck side. And these goals aren't happening when the puck is on his side and they're sliding it to him. These are high grade, perfect passes that he's finishing because he found the soft spot.
Also, you've got arguably the best passer of the puck in the world setting you up. Look,
Yeah.
you've got to finish your chances. It goes without saying, right? But you're getting grade A chances because you are getting these like S tier passes from McDavid.
Yep.
Well, going back to the power play, doesn't it give anybody concern that we're talking about this offensive prowess that that Edmonton has? They went 25%. They went 1 for 4 in the power play last night, and that only power play goal came in overtime versus Florida that was able to convert on half.
Well, but Florida also has the best penalty kill of the entire playoffs. So
Right.
so if you look at it, they give up, let's see, 87. So that means they give up 13% of power play, and Edmonton scored on 25% of theirs. So Edmonton did better than other teams on average do in the power play. So no, Edmonton did better than what other teams do.
Okay.
And and Edmonton's PK is not exactly known as good.
No.
So what were they? 2 out of 4? Is that what Florida was last night? 2 out of 4?
1 out of 2. So I mean,
One
not
out
a
of two,
huge
50%.
sample size, but
So that brought, I mean, Edmonton's at 64%. So just about what you would expect. 2 chances, you're going to see one going. I mean, no, I think the fact they scored a power play goal versus a team that's 87% in the playoffs is pretty freaking good. I'll take that angle for Edmonton.
I'm surprised that Edmonton kept their composure against Florida and only managed to have, 2 penalty kills. Florida's a team that gets under your skin. They're notorious for that, and they added to that before the trade deadline.
Yeah, but remember this, like they saw this last year. Like Edmonton's ready for this. This has been circled on their calendar. The rematch. I mean, Kachuk called it. Give him credit. He called it in the handshake line last year. But like, you don't think Edmonton's been ready for this rematch for 10 months?
I don't know. You throw in Marchand to get under your skin. I don't know what it is. I don't think there's a player out in the NHL right now that can get under your skin like Brad Marchand.
Probably not, but I would
No.
hasten to say Corey Perry is probably top 5 in that category.
Evander Kane's not exactly far behind.
Exactly. Here's the reason why I think that Florida or Edmonton was able to stay composed in the face of potential shenanigans. Up 1-0, and then in a blink of an eye down 2-1. And then early third, you're down 3-1. You're chasing the game for the better part of probably 45 minutes of ice time. You can't afford to be stupid, especially when you're a bad penalty kill team. You can't. You cannot take stupid penalties in this situation. And yeah, they know Marchand. They know Kachuk. Like they know these characters. They have seen this movie. Don't do stupid stuff. And they didn't. And it's one game, small sample size, but I'd like to think that they have the wherewithal to stay composed. in the face of what could get ugly.
And also, don't forget, Edmonton's pretty comfortable being down in the third period in the
That's true.
playoffs and playing smart. Like,
Right.
they don't seem uncomfortable when they don't panic. They methodically get back. Like, they just don't panic. I think that's underrated. And I'm not saying they want to get down, but there's not a lot of teams that don't press the panic button down 2 goals in the third period.
It's fair.
They don't press the
That's
panic
right.
button. They just take their game up to another level. It wakes them up. That's what they got. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes as the playoffs roll on in the Stanley Cup final. Of course I'm interested to see what the ratings are when they come out, because that's of course going to be the talk this year with the teams that are involved and whatnot. So that'll be definitely interesting. Kind of shifting gears. Kind of the human interest story. Do you guys see that they went to minor league, some of the juniors and the minor stuff that some of the Edmonton folks played in, and now they're putting water from McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Skinner, Kane, Nurse, Pickard from onto the Rogers Place ice? Like, really? This is, like, Richard, you put the story in.
I put it.
Why?
To me, it's just one of these things that makes hockey just a little extra interesting to me, because you're not going to see this in any other professional sport. You're not going to see, football go out and find like turf from when, some superstar played and bring that in, because of course it doesn't exist anymore and that field has probably been torn down. I don't know. It's just like the little tiny things that just kind of suck you in as the casual fan. Like, yes, it doesn't mean anything, but this also brings me back to when I was watching the Bruins play in the 2011 Cup, Game 7. They brought in water from the Charles River just outside TD Garden, poured it on the ice in Vancouver, caused a little bit of a stink, but it makes a good story. It makes you feel a little good. I don't know. It's just one of those really interesting things, and the fact that I've never heard of anybody else doing this particularly, especially because Canada is trying to bring the cup back for the first time since '93. Um, it's extra special. It's just kind of one of those cool things to follow.
You know the biggest problem I have with this though? So you said like those fields don't exist anymore. That's why they wouldn't do it like in baseball or football.
Well, the
It's
grass
not.
doesn't. Yeah,
It's not like the ice they skated
no,
on
it's true.
exists
It's
because
true.
you melt ice after X number of times to redo your rink, and like, come on,
I know.
this is
But
too kitschy even for me.
really,
Honestly, yeah, they could pour bottled water into vials and say that that's where it's from and pour it on the ice. Like,
but they went through the effort to actually do this. So I don't know. It's fun. It's just, I don't know. It for a fan like me, the casual fan, it's fun to
I
just go through these stories.
I'd like we need the science in this to be talked about. And this is like a perfect thing for the late John Brinkus, from Sports Science, because here's the thing: they take the water, they dump it on top of the ice, but then the Zamboni comes out. So what molecular structure of that water, if you're putting it on the very top layer, is actually left from them melting and scraping right away? So is
Oh,
that even part? Has it even become part of the ice, molecularly speaking?
it's merged. I,
That's what I feel. This is a sports science type thing.
that would be great. I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
See? Yeah, exactly.
But I got you talking about it.
Yeah, well, maybe we can just cut this from the show like Manscaped does to people. They cut things that you don't want. They make you look better. So get them, manscaped.com, BHN20 is the code. Cut where you don't want things, like that last end of the segment in the A block. We got some coaching news around. They're amused in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Uh,
Dan Muse
Yep.
goes from the assistant bench of the Rangers to Pittsburgh. The Bruins hired Marco Strum. What do they have in common, Lonnie?
they're both coaches in the Eastern time zone?
Well, now they are. I mean, Strum came
Yeah.
from the Pacific time zone.
No. Well.
First time NHL head coaches, not
Oh,
retreads.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Blackhawks
true.
hired Blashill, which we thought, so that's a second after a short. So I mean, like this year, after we got Sullivan moving right away and Montgomery midseason moving right away, the last two and a half, if you will, not your traditional retread market,
Yeah.
which is what we've asked for, and we're seeing it. Dan Muse was a head coach at Yale, so he's in the Chicago Steel, I believe, in his
Yep.
background. Strum was an AHL head coach and has been talked about a lot for different head coaching vacancies. But it's funny. So start with Strum. I'm going to test this on you. The Bruins are touting he's coming back home. Do you associate him as a Bruin?
Oh, he's a
Not really.
shark. San Jose Sharks.
It's kind of what I feel too. Now, he had a couple 20-goal seasons, or 8 20-goal season, two 20-goal seasons, sorry, with the Bruins. But yeah, I his 8 years in Boston or in San Jose versus 5 years in Boston, I feel he's a shark, not
Yeah.
not a Bruin.
Yeah. I
Richard, I
agree.
mean, you're a Bruins fan. Did you? I mean, is he a Boston great in your like? Is he one of those guys that?
Uh, I mean, I recognized his name as being on the team at one point.
Okay,
Before I saw the release and went into his background, would I have been able to tell you all the years he played there? I would have gotten the general area. I probably would have guessed about 2009. Um, but he was there, '05 to 2010. Just missed the cup with them, but I mean, he was okay. He was a productive member of the team.
here's my favorite part of the press release, or ESPN article, I should say. Marco Strom, the most games played for a German-born player, number two in points. Well, and his number two in points, by the time some guy named Dreisaitl's career is done, the delta between one and two will be bigger than the amount of points Marco Sturm has scored. He's at 487. Dreisaitl's currently at 956. So that's a difference of 469. So sometime next year, the delta between one and two will be more. This
Yeah.
is like the Gretzky points assist thing versus goals. Yeah, like Sturm played 938 games. Draisaitl's gonna catch that. He's got a couple other guys he's got to catch first. But I mean, like Draisaitl's at 790. I'm guessing over 1,000 games is what we're going to see Draisaitl in his career. But it was just so funny when number one in games played, number two in points. I'm like, oh, I got to look. How close are they? Oh, no.
Not.
It's like half of Draisaitl's career ago.
See, he blew past him several years ago.
Yes. Yes. So I just thought that was funny how they sometimes when you write things up, it's like, looks good until you dig in. Oh, about that. So, I mean, what are we thinking? We'll just kind of take it in tandem with the coaches, guys. Bruins, Pittsburgh going outside the box for newbies. And two very similar teams in roster makeup and the identity crisis they're going between new coaches.
Uh, for Boston, I'm weary. But then again, they didn't really have a solid head coaching system there after they let Montgomery go. I was a little irate about that. Just knowing the caliber of coach that he is, just letting him go like they did. Um, I don't know what to think about this one. Part of me is welcoming the new, fresh look that from somebody who has not been an NHL head coach before. Although I believe his last coaching gig was an assistant coach with the Kings. Um, uh, I would give it a C if I were to grade it as far as choice. I don't know who my A choice would be, but
That's what I was going to
somewhere
ask you.
middle of
Like,
the road.
who didn't they get that you wanted?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking the qualifications here, and I don't know. I don't know
I mean,
who I
was
wanted
Jay
there.
Woodcroft on the top of your list?
I don't know if I probably would have put him a little bit higher than Marco Strum, but I don't know.
Because like
Something.
Sturm, Woodcroft, and Sacco were supposedly, for most reports, the final three.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have taken Woodcroft.
I think with both of these jobs, it's a realization that both situations are fairly mediocre, and it's an
Yeah,
acceptance of that. And I'm not sure it portends well for longevity for either of them, but I think they know neither situation. There are great players in both spots. I don't think either is a great situation. And so, maybe you take a, up and coming, unproven first time coach rather than a retread who probably goes in a little more, eyes wide open with what the situation is there.
Yeah, I think to me the biggest feeling that I'm getting in Pittsburgh is the rebuild is happening. You
yeah.
hired a coach who was an assistant at Yale on their national championship team. He won a championship in the USHL with the Chicago Steel, and then was an assistant with Nashville, where, oh, that GM was in charge of USA Hockey at the time. So he had roles Muse did with the developmental program and the U18s in the World Championship before he became a Rangers assistant coach. To me, I think Pittsburgh just signaled very quietly to some, but loudly to probably those in the know that, yeah, the rebuild is happening.
It's fair.
Or I mean, I don't think you hire a development. This is a developmental coach, but by
Mhm.
his pedigree, you don't hire a developmental coach if you're going, you know, veteran heavy, right, Lonnie?
No, no. I mean, they've got a ton of cap space, but I think they should be smart because you're locked into three guys that you can't you can't move away from. And I mean, their roster is really is really
Yeah,
bad. It is a bad roster. I mean, the two most highly paid forwards are obvious. Who do you think the next two are?
the next
Raquel
two forwards. You talk about by salary for
Yes.
pit
Nicholas, what'd you say?
forwards.
Raquel
Yes, Raquel is the fourth highest paid forward at
and
5 million per for the next two.
Hayes, Kevin Hayes.
No, Kevin Hayes
That was going to be
is
my
fifth.
guess.
Kevin Hayes is fifth.
Oh,
Brian Rust, 5.125 for the next 3 seasons.
At 32, 33 years old?
33. Raquel is 32. Hayes is 33. And of course, Gino and Sid are at 38 and 37, respectively. This is a bad roster.
Yeah, they don't have much under 25, do they?
Um,
I know they've got almost nothing on the back
They've-
end. All their money on the back end are 30-year-olds.
I
That
think they
much
have
I
two
know.
players on their roster under 25.
Jeez.
Three.
yeah. One of them is Rucker McGroarty, who I'm not sure has played yet.
Right.
No, didn't he just sign his ELC and burn the first, like,
Right,
did he
for a
burn the
game.
first year?
Right,
Yeah.
because he's got 2 years
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
He's 21.
Okay.
Yeah. This is a frighteningly bad roster.
And the baby pens haven't exactly been on the top of the development chain from when you see different reports and all that.
Right.
Yeah. I think the rebuild's on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I
think
think I think it has to be in Boston too.
Oh yeah. You saw the fire sale they had at the trade deadline, right?
Yeah.
That's
they got rid of people?
just a few.
Haven't heard.
Here's the thing though.
But you can't burn that roster down. I mean, they're
No, they have here's the
Pasternak and
thing with-
Lindholm are locked.
Right, but here's the thing. They're 29 and 30 respectively. So yes, they're $19 million combined. But you know what? They're both 30 and under. I could actually live with that as part of a rebuild or a retooling. You can work with
Well,
that.
and you got McAvoy. You got McAvoy in the back end who's still in his 20s, and Zadorov is maybe
Zadorov is 30. Hampus Lindholm is 31.
Yeah. I like their roster better than Pittsburgh's.
Oh,
They
by
traded
a
for
lot.
Middlestat.
Yep, Casey
Yeah,
Middlestat. Like
yeah.
you could work with that. Pavel Zacha is 28.
And you've got an all-world. In theory, you should have an all-world goalie there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened this year.
Well, I mean, when guys in front of you just don't stop anything,
There's that.
Yeah,
doesn't help. But I like I like the situation that Sturm's going into way better than Muse.
So if that's the situation, why couldn't they attract somebody more proven?
Who says they couldn't?
They made a choice to go.
Right. They made, but Strum's been Sturm. Sorry, not Strum. I
keep saying Strum.
It's Sturm. Yeah, it's Sturm. Yeah. He's been the it guy for he's been in Minnesota, flirted with him a bit. Chicago, he was in the name last year. I forget who. He's been. Anaheim was rumored. I mean, he's right down the street in Ontario. He's been the guy the last couple of years of getting interviews. So I don't think it's a bad. You know what I mean? It's totally out of left field. I think it's a first time coach. But once again, I also wonder. You got Bob Gainey there now, who's got a different look on things, and he may not want a retread because Gainey's not exactly. He's a little curmudgeon-y at times, A little bit. So, I think this makes sense for them. You think he's going to be a player's coach. He's a former player, hasn't retired that long ago. He left the league in 2012, I believe. So it's only been a decade since he's been out of the league. He's always been around the NHL since. He didn't do the college ride, he didn't do the junior. This is an NHL guy with a roster that you're looking to build on the veterans and supplement with youth. Boston's not a teardown. So I don't think you can't go the developmental route, but you also can't go the hard ass route.
I just think I would have liked to see somebody with just a little bit more coaching background before putting him in. I'm totally fine having him on your coaching roster, but as your head coach, I think I'd like somebody with just a little bit more experience, be it either the juniors or, he does have a little international coaching experience with Team Germany.
He coached in the AHL last couple of years. He ran the Ontario Reign.
Yeah.
He's got head coaching experience.
If you're just looking for see that on his stat
if you're looking for just head coaching experience, he's got it.
For some reason, I did not see that on his stat sheet.
Well, you need to do more research for this show.
Guess so.
God. Man, just stick to producing. Just stick to producing. Yeah,
he coached Germany to unlikely Olympic silver medal in 2018.
It was the first medal that they had in a gazillion years, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
he's got international coaching experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's, a top 3 German-born player in the history of the NHL.
Sure.
If you cut Draisaitl's numbers in half.
No, I said top 3. He's one of the 3 best.
Third.
Stützle? He's pretty good. Don't you think?
Yeah, he's all right.
He's not bad. I'd take him.
He's definitely a German player.
Yeah, he's Uwe Krug? Ciders?
Yes.
You got what? Ciders German?
Mo is German. I wouldn't say he's top 3 yet. But at least he's got a rookie of the year. So that probably might put him ahead of Stützle.
I put Sturm in the top 3 of historical German players in the NHL.
Yeah, that's
right. That's right.
Ooh, yeah, where does Olaf Kolzig go? Ooh, this could change it. I forgot. There's Ole the goalie.
Oh,
dude had a little run.
Yeah, he did.
Is he number 2 behind Draisaitl? Sturm 3, Stützle currently kind of 4, but could play up into top 3.
I think Stützle and and Cider are both like they're fighting for the fourth spot on German Mount Rushmore. German hockey player Mount Rushmore.
We definitely need Oli the goalie in there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Got a Stanley Cup appearance.
He did.
Grubauer, he's German. He's still playing.
He is.
It's true.
Okay, we're going down a German rat hole I didn't expect. You know the big where does David Hasselhoff come in of all this?
Did he play hockey?
He's done everything. He's done everything.
According to NHLratings.com,
Here we go.
There you go. The intern's coming up with something.
it's Draisaitl, Stützle, Seider, Peterka, Grubauer in the top 5.
For active. That's an active list then.
Is it? Yeah,
That has to be,
yeah.
because those are all
active.
active.
That's active.
Yeah.
Yes, screw your stats.
Give me 1 second.
No, too late. Too late. We're moving
Moment's
on
passed.
past the Germans. Moving past the Germans. We're gonna go to puppies. Because I mean, I apparently the intern's never heard of the Puppy Bowl, Lonny.
Oh, come on. How's that possible?
I've never seen it. I've never paid
Every
attention
team
to
is
it.
and every team's represented this year. Every team has a pup for their team and then some. I don't even know how to handicap this. Richard, this is, I mean, you've obviously spent some time handicapping.
Have I?
I don't know. You looked up, you put it in there, right?
I mean, this was something that you brought to my attention last season.
Yes.
Because was that the inaugural, or had they done it years before?
I think this is the third, if I remember
Okay.
correctly.
I remember you bringing it up last year, and I'm like, well, we need to revisit this because some of the names for this year's Puppy Bowl, pretty good. I wanted to just catch, because I know you're following this like you did last year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to catch some of your favorite names
Okay.
of the puppies who will be participating.
Well, I've got one that I hate.
Oh,
So the Carolina, they're doing Taylor Howell. I don't think Taylor Hall should be the guy you pick. Like, he's too new to the team to get the puppy name. I'm sorry, and the puppy's name is Perry and Taylor Howell. Like, as a Hawks fan, that hurts. That really hurts.
The combination.
Yeah, it feels like a shot. It just feels like a shot. Some of the best. Some of my best names. I mean, Braden Pointer.
that one's good.
Like, I mean, that's so like that's the easy one, right?
But it's still good.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, Dylan Barkin,
Mhm.
kind of like that one. Kind of like that one. I don't get the Mika Zabonjad, like
Zabonajad.
It's I'm sorry, I don't like that one. Doggy Hamilton is awesome. Like, I mean, that's just so simple. Doggy Hamilton, like, yeah,
Sidney Posby.
No,
No, you don't like Sidney
don't love
Posby?
that one. I like John Schnarlson better.
I was disappointed in the Avs, Devon Stays.
Because the dog stays.
I guess.
Yeah, but in the puppy bowl, you don't want him to stay. You want him to
Exactly.
go. Yeah.
Right?
Montreal's Nick Chuzewski.
Yeah. Jake Ottinger.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
Jean Gabriel Pajot.
Yeah, that's very Dustin Wolf. That's too easy. Don't like
Travis K9 Neckney.
it. Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
I do.
Good, but it doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
tough.
I'm soft. Shea Theodorable. It's pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
Pretty good. It's good.
Tyler Barktuzzi.
Matt's Buparello.
Yep. Jake DeBruff. I do like that. He also kind of looks like my dog, so maybe that's why I like that dog. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like it. All the animal shelter. A bunch of them already adopted.
A lot of them already adopted.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, June 6th through 8th, you can watch it. Watching Practical Jokers, and then I think it comes on after that. It's on True TV in the US, Sportsnet in Canada. Different times. NHL Net on the 8th for everybody. So It's the Puppy Bowl. No, sorry, no, it's the Stanley
No, the
Pup,
Stanley
not
Stanley
Pup.
the
Pup.
Puppy Bowl.
No,
Something separate.
yeah, that was back in
Yeah, whew.
February.
Yeah, that was back in February. That's the more well known one. So I think it's fun.
Before we move
Why
on, can
not?
I put my disappointment in Jeremy Spayman for
Don't like that
Boston?
one. Don't like that one.
Eh, they could have done better.
You're just disappointed in Swayman this season, and you're just carrying over to anything associated with him.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So so this is where my mind went, and I'm a person of a certain age and a certain type of movie buff, obviously. I saw the picture, I saw Spayman, I saw Boston. I'm thinking Bob Barker, Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
Mm.
absolutely.
I mean, that's where my mind went immediately. I'm like, Spade, neutered, Barker, Boston, Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
That's what I thought there.
And the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 just came out. So,
Nick, do you know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
oh, thank God.
Yes. Yes, I did.
I was about to just
have
log
you
off.
seen the movie?
Yes, I have. It's been a long time, but I've seen it.
What do you
Okay.
think of it?
Chef's kiss.
Okay, good.
I love the movie.
Don't have to kick him off.
Whoa, that was a close call.
Yeah, he's still my favorite Canadian that does this podcast. So that's good.
Cool. That's the best thing you said about me.
It's a low bar.
Yeah.
It's a really low bar.
So the rare compliment Adam gives on this podcast. So take it.
Plenty of compliments. You guys just don't appreciate them.
Saying nice things about yourself is not the same thing.
Apparently, I need to go to LDE and get you guys some jewelry to make you feel better about yourselves, because obviously you guys need some of that stuff. Okay, one more story before we finish up, only because the producer putting on here. I'm at 9news.com. Do we know anything about that website, Richard?
Just a little bit.
9news.com.
Shady as hell news source. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't know why, out of all the ones to link, we're gonna go to some local TV for a sports story. Go figure.
Because it's the local affiliate for the Colorado Avalanche who made this signing.
That's the only reason why you
don't
linked it to that.
Don't pay attention to the byline on that article either.
Oh, look at that! I didn't even look at the byline.
I didn't either.
Wow, so it's more self-pandering than I thought.
Yeah. I thought you were going to pick up on that.
So according to Richard Cote, Brock Nelson is going to be in Colorado for 3 more years.
Yes.
Richard, would you like to comment on this story?
Yes. Wednesday, they announced a 3-year deal, a 3-year extension with Brock Nelson, who they acquired at the trade deadline, trying to shore up some holes that were left when they sent a certain Mikko Rantanen packing.
A certain Mikko compared to the other one?
It's compared to the other one.
One of the other Mikko Rantanens
that we don't talk about much because he doesn't do much on the team. This is just one of the bigger names that I saw signing, as we're getting closer to the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Something that Colorado is trying to keep together to keep hopes for another cup run going. He was fairly productive with the Avs, even though he only played, I believe, 19 games with them. Just happy to see him. He's happy to be here in Colorado. He's excited to be staying here. Just really excited to see some more, good NHL hockey here in Colorado, and good to have him back on the roster for at least a few more years.
I've got no problem with the number. The problem I have is every freaking forward that Colorado has with term has some kind of no movement clause associated with it.
Yeah, it's
a problem.
It's going to be a problem here in the next year or so.
They gave, I don't care how many teams are on the list, but when you're giving Miles Wood, Logan O'Connor, throw Valerie Nikushkin in there, no movement clauses, like, really? Just can't. I mean, Logan O'Connor, he can go 6 teams, no trade list. Well, that means you can't unload him for draft picks.
Right.
To some team looking to just move on. Like, he's a 28-year-old, $2.5 million bottom 6 forward. And he now can say, no, I don't want to go to a crappy team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look like he's got a hardcore no movement clause for the first 2 years. And then when he's 36 years old, he's only willing to go half the league. So in 27, 28, if Colorado's not competitive, he's willing to go to a contender at a deadline deal
Yeah.
Yep.
for not a first round draft pick because he's got the no movement clause.
Unless somehow you sweeten the deal and you get him to waive it, but
Well,
don't
but I
see
mean,
that
nobody's
happening.
going to give you. I mean, first round picks are. And by the way, this is a Colorado team that only has 2 first round picks in the next 3 years. Sorry,
Yeah,
two top 3 round picks in the next 3 years. Stand
that's right.
corrected.
Because next year they don't have a first round, right?
They don't have a first rounder until 27. They don't have a first or second or third rounder until 27.
But they don't have a second round next year.
Nope, or a third round.
They don't have a first, second, or third
I thought they kept their second round. All right.
Nope.
this year or next year.
Yeah,
They're going with the Tampa Bay Lightning / LA Rams, if I'm going to mix sports, F them picks strategy, if I've ever heard it.
yeah. Or they're going to have to unload these guys with partial no movement clauses to places that are on the list to get draft picks back.
And it's going to be fairly low end compensation for that because they got Colorado over a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there could be some teams that could take on the full freight of a contract and say, you don't even have to withhold anything, but we're not giving you anything anything good in
Right.
return.
It's gonna be like a third or fourth round,
At best.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a little over $1 million of projected cap space. They've got 12 forward, 5D, 2 goaltenders. I mean, basically the roster you're looking at, that's their roster next year, barring a trade with somebody around one of these movement clauses.
It's a good roster though. But
But it's not.
Yeah,
It didn't.
It's
they didn't get
completely
better.
it's completely inflexible.
it's inflexible is the problem.
But also, they're not getting better, and they need to get better because they're not progressing in a conference that's not going anywhere.
no.
I'm with you. I hate the number. I don't hate the number.
Yeah,
That's a 33-year-old, top 6 center power forward type, even though he was anonymous in the postseason. It's fine. 3 years at 7.5 per. It's fine. But you can't have those kind of clauses on that contract for that player at that age and have it make sense. I'm not feeling it.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm not upset at the signing. Yeah. I don't know. It's
On its face, I think it's a totally
yeah.
it's
had
a
to be
signing
done.
that's totally fine and makes sense.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of holes in that roster still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cause to concern.
It's gonna be tough sledding, I think, for Colorado next year. I think that could be one of your regression teams if we look ahead to next year.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Time for those closing thoughts. Or are we going to do picks? We can do how many games in the series win. We can throw that on the tab.
Sure, why not? Let's started something. So let's go number of games in the series. And I'll start with Adam.
6 for Edmonton. South Florida will see a cup on their ice.
All right. Lonnie?
I want to see Edmonton lifted at home. I'm going to say Edmonton in 5.
Wait a minute. Didn't you just spend half a segment maligning Richard about how the series hasn't started? Florida's going to win it. Like, man, what a difference 45 minutes.
I was going to say, first of all, listen, a lot can happen in 45 minutes. Second of all,
Yeah.
I was going to say 6 also, but I really like when a team wins it at home.
What about
So-
7?
I don't like Edmonton.
45 minutes ago, you were ripping Richard for 5 games. There's no way this is a long series. Like, come on.
I was ripping Richard more for the rapidity with which he was tossing aside the Stanley Cup champions.
You just did in like 30,
No,
like 7
listen,
seconds.
I was a lot more complimentary of them than he was, though. It means more.
All right, Nicholas.
But you still have a gentleman's sweep.
I was gonna say 6, but I think I'll say Edmonton in 7.
All right. I'm about to make Adam angry as well. I'm going to go 5 games. It's going to be Florida.
You're not gonna make me angry. You're just stupid. That's fine. I mean, that's just a dumb pick. That I have no anger over stupidity. I just can't believe Lonny spent the whole time maligning you. Long series, blah blah blah. Florida hasn't even won at home. Remember what I talked about? Toronto, Edmonton 5.
Edmonton's the better team.
Man, in the world of editing, if we would take the D block right next to the A block, you can make Lonny sound real bad.
I could.
Because
Listen,
45
we
minutes.
don't need Richard's editing to do that.
Because 45 minutes left, it's a whole world different now. It's okay.
Actually, Lonnie looked bad the last time we got together with what he said about Edmonton
I
and
always-
Dallas, how it could be a short series for Dallas, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, but he got Toronto right.
Yeah.
You got
So
Toronto
he's,
right.
so he's 1 for 2, going on 1 for 3.
Listen, I usually do look bad in my predictions. Like
Fair.
this
Not
is
year.
how this works.
Lonnie, TikTok ripped into you. I'm going to be honest with you.
TikTok ripped into Lonny.
Yeah.
Lonny was a
Wow.
viral sensation. I need to get the talk, apparently.
Me
I've heard
too.
about this. I've heard
Yeah.
about this thing.
I haven't looked at it in so long. I think it offloaded from my phone.
There you go.
That's a step closer than Adam and I. I don't think Adam, you haven't been on it, have you?
I've never had the talk, no.
Yeah. All right.
No, but we all have to get back into the X after this week. It's a good place again, apparently.
Oh my!
Yeah, right.
Different show, different topic, different shit.
Yeah.
Not in our wheelhouse.
No,
just-
definitely not.
Nope. Keep going. Move on.
Okay, it's time for Nicholas to tell us the amazing stat that we need to know about.
Can I say my final thought first?
You want stats and a final thought? What do you think
They're
you
quick.
are?
Listen,
They're quick.
he's done his homework today, which is more than I can say for me. So let him have it.
Okay. Lonnie
Uh,
says you can do it.
Thank you, Lonnie. My soccer team started their men's league this week. We played on
Okay,
Sunday.
no, now we're
and
done. No,
yesterday.
no.
And I scored 2 goals yesterday.
God,
Okay,
this is
quick,
like
we're
well
Richard
done.
talking about
Simple.
mountain goats.
Thank you.
Couldn't get the hat trick?
Wow.
Let's not get into it. We won 9-0 though, so
9-0, and you couldn't get a hat trick.
no, I was subbed off for the last half an hour.
What I'm hearing is people need to pass a little more on your team instead of just hogging the net.
Don't worry.
How many different goal scorers were there for the 9 goals?
4.
Yeah, see, bunch of hogs. Know your company. Yeah. So not only do we get mountain goat men roller hockey talk, now we're getting Canadian soccer talk.
Yes. And now we got our stat or whatever. So the cost of the celebration was the 2011 Bruins celebration at the MGM Grand at Foxwoods. They managed to rack up a bill of $156,679 at a Tabata bar. That was partially helped by a $100,000 bottle of champagne.
I'm actually well, I bet that is probably the single most single tab recorded, but I guarantee more money has been spent in post-game parties that tabs aren't accounted for.
Most likely. I would probably agree with that.
And I think it may have happened at OB Clarkson St. Louis in 2019 from the stories of that locally. Tell you that. Yeah. So, okay. It's a good one. Speaking of mountain men, roller hockey, scoring prowess, what was your team? Wasn't that what you wrote? Mountain men, something like that? Mountain goats?
Roller hockey? We're the Mountaineers.
Mountaineers.
And it's not roller hockey. It's ice hockey.
It started as roller hockey, though, did it not?
No, this team did not.
Oh,
I
okay.
joined this team from a coworker who got me in connection with them after I'd been playing ice for a little while. My friends and I played loosely what you could call roller hockey, and we liked to call ourselves the Mountaineers. The name was just serendipitous that I happened to fall in with a group of guys who already named their team the Mountaineers.
I wasn't very far off then in my
You weren't
characterization.
far off, but this iteration is always been ice hockey. Used to be the Crease Beavers, but we'll go on from that.
Downgraded in names.
the the founder of the team had left, so I believe he took the name with him. As the other members of the team weren't terribly, from what I gather, weren't terribly sad to see him depart.
You guys had locker room issues, what I'm hearing. There were some off-ice dilemmas.
That's what it sounded like. I was not part of the team back then, but that is what I have gathered.
But they need to bring you in to become the new glue to keep this team in the locker room better, is what I'm hearing.
Obviously, that's
Yes. Okay,
exactly
got it.
why they brought
Got it.
me in. Yep. Got one cohesive locker
There you
room.
go.
Yeah. My parting thought, not much, because there's not a whole lot going on inside this dome that sits above my shoulders. Just happened to notice that there was a good chance, there was a better chance than most for teams that Mikko Rantanen played for this season to make the cup, yet none of them did. And I just found that kind of amusing. And that is my only amusing thought that I will share this week.
Okay.
Of the 3 teams he played for, and 2 of them made it to the conference championship.
Fair enough. Okay.
Not a representative in the cup.
It's because Corey Perry goes to cups and
I know.
he's the new Marian Hossa.
Or Pat Maroon. Oh, no, Pat
No,
Maroon wins the
Maroon
cups.
wins cups. He doesn't go
Yeah,
to
that's
cups.
right. That's
he just
right.
won cups.
He just wins the cups. Yeah.
Perry's just going to cups so far.
He's won one. He won one with Dallas, right? Not Dallas.
Anaheim.
Anaheim.
But that was
Yeah.
like a $500 million. I'm like
That was
he's
a
been,
lifetime.
5
That
out of
was
the
a-
last 6 years he's been to the cup and been on the
Yeah.
old Marian Hossa wagon before Hossa found it in his 3rd chance
Yep.
in 3 years now. Lonnie?
That's all.
What was the stat they had last night? Kachuk and Maroon are the only 2 guys to go to the cup 3 years in a row with their their first 3 years with the team. There was something there was some stat like that I heard they had I heard on SportsCenter last night before the in the pregame. But the
We're so good.
we're so good. The one real stat which really makes me confident in my Edmonton pick is that this is the 3rd rematch of a Stanley Cup final since 1983. The team that lost the first won the second the last 2 times.
I believe it's the 4th time since the expansion in '67. And Montreal won the first 2. First time against St. Louis, second time against Boston.
Well, I'm not talking about since the expansion. I'm talking about
Jeez.
since.
I know, but
this
I'm
is
just
my
saying
parting
that-
thought, not yours.
I brought this up last week.
It was the Islanders got revenge, or the Islanders beat the Oilers the first time. Oilers got their revenge the second. Detroit beat Pittsburgh, and then Pittsburgh flipped it in 2009. Unbelievable that there was only the 3rd Stanley Cup final rematch though.
Third
Since the
back to
80s.
back. You mean the 3rd back?
The 3rd rematch,
Back-to-back.
yeah,
Two
back-to-back
years
years,
ago.
yeah. Doesn't happen often, which kind of surprises me.
See, it doesn't surprise me because I mean it's the hardest postseason. It's been proven time and time again that it's the hardest postseason.
I mean, again, if you count it since the expansion, definitely harder. Before then, it happened a ton.
Well, when there were 6 teams,
Exactly.
Yes.
When 2/3 of the league made the playoffs.
Exactly. I'm
Okay.
saying, put it into context. The league's been around since 1917, and they didn't expand
we're talking
until
about the modern
67.
era.
That's why I had to put that context
Like
in there.
there's to me there's 2 modern eras of hockey now. You've got the expansion era and the salary cap era.
Yeah.
Anything before the 60s, before the expansion era, nothing counts in terms of like postseason records. And really, the salary cap era to me is where all the current records need to be compared to.
All right.
So
TikTok,
since 05.
fight him on that.
Yeah. I think the salary cap era has definitely changed the postseason.
Well, I think Nicholas
Oh, yeah.
has his TikTok. Nicholas has his TikTok clip for this week. I'm so off the hook.
Okay, my parting thought is I'm getting tired of tornadoes here in St. Louis. We had another one last night that was just a couple miles from the house. That's the second close call in the last month. This weather pattern sucks. And hoping everybody heals quick and we stop with the damage here locally in the backyard of this stuff, and maybe we just get to summer and just deal with hot. Like I've never been begging for hot and annoyingly humid more than I have, because April and May have, and now early June, have just been awful with rain and storms. It's been crazy here. So let's stop with that. It's done with it. It's my parting thought. Nick, Lonnie, Richard, Adam, thank you all for joining us. This has been another edition of the Pro Hockey News Podcast.